Broadcasting live from upstate New York, a technology talk show that puts you and your questions first. It's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah, baby, it's Tech Talk Live, coming to you live from upstate New York. I'm Flipper.
I'm JJ.
And we're a local computer talk show up here in upstate New York. We talk about computers, your computer, my computer, their computer, everybody's computer. And we take your computer questions. So if you want to give us a call,
at 315-220-0692.
Or you can give us an email at techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
Reach out to us at Facebook.
Like us.
And like us. And share us. Perfect timing.
Right?
Gotta love it. What crazy weather we're having today.
Isn't it?
Or the last 2 days, actually. Go from what? A week of 80s?
A week
almost?
of 80s, 90s. I think we hit 88 or something one day up here.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden now we're 41.
41. What was it? 43 high yesterday or something?
Yeah.
Wind chills. Felt like it was in the 30s yesterday.
Well, you know, compared to Memorial Days that of past,
right,
when I used to march in the marching band and stuff, we would always be out there and it would be blistering hot.
And you'd be dying.
Yep. And
people would be dropping.
Yep. Well, what happened last year there that was so big at the Waterloo Memorial thing? Somebody passed out from heat stroke or something?
Yeah, I think so. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was just like everybody scattered, and then Boy Scouts were helping out, and it was
bringing water.
You know, it was pretty bad last year. This year, you don't have to worry about the heat stroke, but you got to definitely worry about
frostbite.
Yeah, right. Well, I was saying the traffic and the amount of people this year.
Oh my God,
it's very
crazy.
busy this year out there.
Crazy coming to the studio today. It was like, oh my God, people pulling out in front of you, cutting you off.
All right. Well, you know, they got WNYR down there doing two broadcasts from 11 till whenever.
Right.
And then I think somebody else was going to do something down there, another radio station.
Isn't like Jim Schreck down there spinning some tunes?
Oh yeah,
down there?
Shrekky's down there. My main man.
Your main man spinning some tunes, doing some, was it 60s, 70s, I think maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
So he's down there with the other guy from NYR. I can't remember his name. But
yes. So happy Memorial Day anyway.
Right. So talking about Memorial Day and technology, and we'll merge the two together here.
Merge it in.
They have now different sites and different ways to memorialize your fellow comrades and have people comment about a page, and you can build them a page.
Right.
Facebook is now doing something where you can actually do a memorial page. You can do it on friends.com, I think is what it's called, the new social media.
Okay.
So they're just little side pages where you can memorialize, maybe your uncle was served in Vietnam and died, and you know, build a page, and then people can leave comments and flowers and stuff like that. And it's just kind of a neat digital way of doing Memorial Day.
Maybe Waterloo can do one for being the birthplace of Memorial Day.
Right, that would be neat. Add that to their website.
Add it to their website, and they could have a link to, you know, all the past soldiers.
Right,
honor them for their service. That would be cool.
That is kind of neat. I thought that would be really great. So, you know, and I guess that's really the question anybody has anymore, was about the concept of the social media and the social changes that technology is causing.
Because they don't have any other technology questions, because they're not calling us.
Right. So give us a call, 315-220-0692. I didn't even bring up the window for the chat, so.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
Whatever.
It's a holiday weekend. Not like we're going to get 100 listeners probably today.
Right.
Everybody's out celebrating them.
Well, you know, that's
supposed to be a beautiful weekend, but
yeah. Well, that's one of the things about having the show at 11, 12 on Saturday mornings.
Right.
So.
Actually, I think the parade's going on now in Waterloo, I do believe.
Right.
Right. So
we should have seen if we could have borrowed the laptop or grabbed one of the laptops here. And
I think we need to
get a mobile
down
unit.
The background noise.
That's okay.
I'm not sure how much it's broadcasting, but
I can hear a little bit, but not bad.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, you know, a lot of people have been theorizing about the changes in social media and what technology is causing. People are not able to communicate as well as they used to be able to. You know, different things like going to events. You know, people are now coordinating events. So, like, let's all go to the Memorial Day parade. All right, great. All of a sudden, we're seeing this influx of people going to these events, but they're very brief. They're influx, here it is, and then gone.
Right.
They're not sticking around for the other portions of the event. And what some sociologists are saying is that it's because people are only coordinating one piece of that event and then moving on to a different itinerary right after. So, like saying if you coordinate, hey, let's all meet up at the parade and go watch the parade.
Right.
They don't have nothing to do after it, or they're not planning anything, so it's like a shortcoming.
So they need a planning app.
Right.
Right.
So
or using their smartphones in their.
right. So
Right.
one of the things that people are saying is that like the perusing and the browsing and the
Right.
doesn't happen as much when they coordinate these events like this. So like some people had taken some surveys at the Lilac Festival up in Rochester this year about what drew you here. Well, this particular event. And then they found out that the people were coming just for that particular event and then
Right.
hopping out. Even though they saw record people, you know, they only saw them in and out for different pieces. State
So-
Fair, I think, had the same problem last year.
So what do you do to resolve it? Do you do links to the?
Well, I don't know if you
You
can
do one
resolve
sub
it.
page and you do a link. It's inside that one page.
Well,
Or
I
the
think
one invite.
I think cross linking would probably be good. You know, just for event planning. So, like saying if somebody says, "Oh, okay, I just found that there's a parade today at Memorial Day
In Waterloo, right?
at Waterloo. Oh, there's also vendors and stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, I can go look at this, and here's the list of the vendors. Oh, I can go get photography. I can go get this. I can go get that. I can go to the other.
I can watch a digital babble.
Right,
Right.
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 So,
and Tech Talk Live.
so the cross referencing might be a way to help add to the planning piece.
Right.
But I really think it's going to come down to what people are going to do. You know, I mean, if people aren't going to change how they handle that, then that's all there is to it.
I can hear them loud and clear.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can hear some of it, but they're supposedly playing games, so
Right.
it's all good.
They're using their technology.
They're using their technology.
Correct.
Just as long as they're not upset, that's all.
Hey, did you hear that the first Apple computer is going up for auction?
The very first Apple computer?
The first Apple computer could fetch $500,000.
Oh, I could imagine.
You should see it. It's just like a little 13-inch black and white screen with
Oh, yeah.
like part of a keyboard, a tape deck, just some components of a computer, like out in no container or anything. It's just out on the table.
That was the old style.
Oh my God! I'm like, $500,000 for that? Really? Mm-hmm. Wonder why they're selling it. Wonder if Apple.
They're probably trying to get money for iBang app.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, talking about Apple, Microsoft's taking aim at iPad Siri. They're trying to come up with their own app, basically, to replace the Siri product on their Surfaces. You know, the Windows 8 and Surface.
Right.
Supposedly, it's less talking and more doing. Not so interactive. You know, not so artificial intelligence Siri. More of, I want this. Boom, here it is.
Wow.
Have a nice day. No more asking Siri, do you love me? Oh, I love all blind people, right?
Right. Yeah, man.
Some of those weird questions, you know.
Yes.
Microsoft has gotten rid of their entertainment value of the whole Siri idea and gotten into a functional.
Functional voice command.
Yeah, pretty much. So you know that's
Maybe
always been
interesting to see.
that's always been Microsoft's big thing anyway. They don't really care for
Right.
entertainment purposes so much. They just want it to work. So sounds like they're going to come up with something. So far, you know, the Mac versus PC war rages on, of course.
Right.
I really personally think everybody should start taking Pinterest's CEO basically said that go out there and do your own thing. Just do your own thing and do it up and be happy doing it.
Right.
You know? So
Turn it down so you get the less background noise.
I was trying. I don't think it's going to work.
Hey, guess who's here?
There's Oscar.
Oscar.
He's been talking about doing another article, but then, you know, he gets tired after
Right.
typing a while.
Yes. For those of you who haven't checked it out, Oscar's got his little commentary.
Yep.
Online
He
today?
usually talks about something that we've been talking about online. He usually goes back and watches the show, too, so
Very nice. Been hanging out.
he's a good kitty.
He is.
So,
Did you get enough camera time? Sure. Okay. Ready? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Eee.
there you go.
Anyway.
So, yeah. So, a lot of this stuff, like I said, I really think this whole PC war is... I'm done with it. I don't think it's worth it, okay? Whether you have a Mac or you have a PC, whether it's a desktop, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a tablet, whether it's a Android. If you're happy with it, you're happy with it. And I really think these companies that are trying to make the war, this competitive war, this heavy share market thing has gotten way out of whack. They're not doing what they should be doing, which is really just playing their own game, competing against themselves. What's our next step as Microsoft? What's our next step as Tech Talk Live? What is our next step as Apple? Forget about what everybody else is doing. Stop acquiring everybody else. Stop monopolizing. You know, if you want to share technology, hey, I really like what you guys are doing, buy it off them. Okay, fine. I can understand that to a certain degree, but 2013, 2012, 2011 has all been really big on like the bigger companies swallowing up all these small companies that have decent ideas. You never hear from them again. You never see anything about it.
Nope.
And then they somehow integrate it in when one competitor or another comes up with that.
And I think we got another one coming up. I think it was Google. Is it Google that's buying Waze? I think it is.
Yes, Google is buying
For like $1 million. I think it is.
Did I print that one off? Yeah, some 1 billion. I thought.
Is it 1 billion or 1 million?
Thought it was 1 billion.
I mean, I downloaded that app and just thought,
Yeah.
it was just starting. There wasn't a lot to it. Now all of a sudden it's being acquired.
Well, I think the point is that the background architecture of that app is really the better part of it. The interface isn't that great,
Right.
but really the technology of the linkage, making it all connect the way it does.
With the social media and stuff too,
Yep.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah, so it really does give you a.
At the time, though, when I saw it, it didn't have a lot of information. All of a sudden, it must have just taken off in the last year, probably.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, you know how sport teams have scouts, right?
Right.
Apps now have scouts, so the big companies like Google and Apple and Microsoft all have tech scouts. They go and they try out these apps, and then when they come across something
And
that they
Facebook.
like, yeah, right, and then they come across something that they like, and they say, "Oh, we want to integrate this into what we offer." They go out and they buy that up, and I think
Yeah,
you're right.
'cause
That one was $1 million. They just bought a solar wind power plant for $1 billion. I can't remember what the name of the company was, but
I wonder if they're going to integrate that Waze with their Google Maps or something, make an enhancement on.
well, that's what it's supposed to be
On their
for.
feature.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be for, is integration into Google Maps. I mean, it was a mapping program technically,
right, exactly.
but well, we'll see what happens.
Hey, did you read that article? I found this one on Mashable. The 3D printed splint helps a baby breathe again. Did you read that one?
Splint?
Splint.
Sure, it's splint, not stint.
SPLINT, it says.
Oh, okay. Well,
3D printed splint. Talking about
Okay.
all this bad stuff about 3D printing. A little good thing. came
here's
out
some
here.
good sums. Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, I just saw that somebody had a partial skull replacement using a 3D printed material, and it was custom fit just to his head. So
They just must have just 3D mapped his melon and
pretty much just
go.
printed it
filled
off.
in the blanks. Right?
Yep.
Well, anyway, this one, when a baby was affected with a condition that blocked his ability to breathe, professors at the University of Michigan developed a 3D printed splint that saved the child's life. The baby was only 6 weeks old at the time, stopped breathing and turned blue. As explained in the video, doctors discovered he had a severe tracheal. I can't even pronounce the whole word. Oh my God, it's like
That's okay.
20
So he's got a
letters.
problem with his trachea.
It was a condition that causes a collapse of the windpipe, blocking the baby's airflow. Mm-hmm. And they were able to come up with a little 3D splint that kept the airway open. And they were able to insert it into,
And then it just stays there.
and it just stays there.
Yep. Neat.
Right.
That is really neat.
When all the
That's,
treatments failed, the doctors came to the University of Michigan, where the two professors came up with the idea.
we're starting to come. I hate to say it this way, but we are starting to come up to the Star Trek generation. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, basically, you think it, you can draw it, you can build it, it can be printed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what do you want to say? I mean, okay, fine. You need a new nose. They can 3D print all the pieces of the nose,
Oh, a new nose job.
right?
And actually look halfway decent.
I wouldn't mind Meg Ryan's nose.
Yeah, supposedly that was sometime last year, and now the baby's, 20 months old and doing well, living with his family in
Right.
Ohio, so...
Right, which I can't get over. You know what I can't get over with that whole 3D printing thing of medical things is that they now have it's a silicone / medical plastic. I can't remember the name of it, but they actually have something very safe, for putting into the human body where the human body won't reject it. So it's pretty interesting that, anything goes
Told
wrong.
you it was coming that way. We discussed it, probably a year ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a matter of time, but, the sad part is with every great invention like that, always comes the negative backside of that,
There's always somebody going to be out there
doing something stupid, yep.
Yeah, just like the officials are saying that stopping the 3D printing of guns could be nearly impossible.
It is impossible. How are you going to do it?
Right.
I mean, it's a noble cause, very noble cause. I mean, you got to try to protect society. You got to try to protect your police officers and first responders. But technically, a 3D printed gun with high impact plastic is totally undetectable by, magnetic, the whatever they call them, the security gates with magnets. So it detects if there's metal detectors. There we go. So I mean, by the end of the day, how are you going to stop that?
You don't.
Yeah, I don't think you will.
You don't. And I actually read an article and went along with that, and I'm looking for it here, that the 3D printing is now going to bullets as well now. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to encompass the gun and the bullets, the ammunition.
Which would be high impact plastic, and then as long as they keep the foot per second just fast enough to kill, but not fast enough to destroy the bullet.
Destroy the cartridge, right?
Right.
So it blows up in your own face.
Right. So, wow. Horrible. But they were talking about somebody was trying to 3D print a hand grenade in pieces, the two pieces to put together, and you fill it with one part, I think it was one part gunpowder, one part Tax, and then one part something else. And pack it all together in this thing, seal it together, heat it together in the microwave, and just push it together, and it pretty much seals it.
Wow.
And has a pin mechanism, so you pull it, throw it, goes off, bang, and then it's Tax everywhere.
Ugh.
Won't necessarily kill everybody, but it would definitely hurt and maim people.
Maim somebody.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's just sad that that's what we go to, or that this society seems to go to. You always hear about the good, which is the surgical thing, and then the bad, which is oh my dear God, he's up there, isn't he?
Yeah, that was an awesome jump.
Yeah, he's pretty good like that. Hi, Ask. I'm waiting. One of these times he's gonna miss that and he's gonna come tumbling right down. Yeah,
that was awesome. Anyway, back to another article. 3D printed bionic ear can hear beyond the human's ability.
Yep.
That's incredible too.
That was Wednesday night, wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah. That was really amazing. I mean, the bionic ear thought process, take human hearing 1 to 3 times better. If you have a problem where your ear is just dysfunctional, they can actually rebuild it.
Right.
Out of polycarbonate or whatever the plastic is. It's amazing which way we're coming.
It's just amazing, all the articles about this that was on this week.
And it's all going to take computers, and it's all going to take people doing computers and working on computers and learning how to do these CAD drawings, engineering,
technology.
Somebody asked me the other day, what career do you think my kid should get in? You think he should get into, he's really good with computers. You think he should get into repairing them? Nah, not really. Does he like repairing things? Well, kind of. Well,
there we go.
Oops, he's trying to get down now. Good luck, dummy.
There we go. Right, drum roll, please.
Do we got the camera on him? Yeah, you can see him. Come on, Ask. Let's go. You can do it. No.
Second thoughts.
Yeah. He always has second thoughts up there. He's funny. So, but yeah, I mean, just the career choices coming out. And somebody said the other day, well, they won't be there in about 10 years when my kid actually gets out, and then they won't be well paid and this and the other. Engineering. If you can do 3D modeling, okay, and you're good at it and quick at it and it's accurate, I do not see how you cannot have a decent paying job.
There's
when
money
you get
to
out.
be made. Correct.
Yes. Now, if you go in for 3D animation,
thud. Thud.
Are you okay, big guy? You gotta learn not to be up there. So, but really, I mean, 3D animation, very tough field to get into, right? Because it's all art based. You got to find a studio that's building a movie that's 3D based. You're gonna have to really work to push to get there.
Right?
It's not a situation where you just walk out of college and be like, hey, I'm a 3D animator. Or you have to make your own job by having your own studio. So it's like photography, okay? Some people can go right in for photography, become very good at it, very technical, very artistic, and walk out and never have a job in photography ever again because the area that they live in don't support it.
Correct.
You know, you walk down and you go in for photography, you go to New York City, all of a sudden you're getting hired by different places to do different things. So it depends on the area that you live, what your field of study is, what you're doing. Are you specializing? Are you a generalist? You know, all that good stuff. So again, I think back to the idea of this lady asking me, well, what career should my kid get into? You know, computer science is great. You know, programming's fine. But at the same time, you know, there's other careers out there that are really lucrative. Network security, you know, security, you know, like you could become there's casinos out there. Granted, some of them are Indian, some of them aren't.
Right.
Casinos out there that would hire top-notch kids coming out of school with security degrees that are now developing different ways to make sure that everything stays safe and secure. Pinhole cameras, x-ray machines, thermal imagers. They're now using thermal imagers in security.
Facial recognition, all that good stuff.
Yep. So it's just, you know, you're really looking for a different career, go get a different career. You know, don't just, you know, stick with the tried and true, I suppose. But
so you're trying to tell me I need to move?
No, I think we're okay for right now.
You think so?
Yeah, we're making okay.
It's getting old.
It is.
Yeah.
But
time to go someplace where it's warmer.
Right. Right. I'll take that. The hills, the mountains.
A little bit further south.
Oh, hail.
Anyway, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
God bless your heart.
Yes.
That's so funny. I forget who it was. There's a lady from South Carolina who listens to the show. She's so funny. She's like, God bless your heart, Flipper. You know, you might not be much to look at, but you make a lot of sense on things. I'm like, oh, that's great. Just insult me, and you know. One of the big topics this last week was the a bunch of famous people were quoted in doing video games, and people didn't realize how many famous people really do video games and why the video game industry happened to go that route in the last, 10 years or whatever.
Dude, look at, I don't mean to interrupt, but look at NASCAR.
Yeah.
NASCAR drivers actually sit behind a simulation, EA Sports, NASCAR racing, to actually practice their driving on the track because they're so lifelike before they go to the race, just to see, just to get the feel of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're doing it at home, they're doing it on the track, they're doing it at their organization. It's just like, wow.
Technology at its finest.
Right, they got the computers, they got the cameras and the computers on the cars that they're actually doing, actual labs, digitizing it into a video game. Why wouldn't you? They give you a little edge up,
Oh, yeah. Well, especially if the game designers did their job and it was a true, accurate recreation of a track, you could definitely practice on it and then go to the track and be like, this is nothing. I've done this a million times.
Right, exactly. That's what they're doing.
So I could see where that would work out.
But anyway, I didn't interrupt. But
no, that's okay. I was just going to say that, a lot of game companies, like Call of Duty has had famous people in voiceovering different characters. Grand Theft Auto, what was it, San Andreas? I think it was San Andreas, had Samuel L. Jackson in as the antagonistic cop that was in that.
Oh, nice.
So many actors and famous people have brushed the short screen of video games over the last 10 years. And, a lot of people have asked, well, why do they need that type of, talent and versus like some of the other stuff? If you go look at some of the other games like Oblivion, that's only 10 characters. There's only 10 people that voice that, and that's nobody that has voice acting lessons. They just said, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do the other. The voice acting and the storyline is very nice, but nothing like Rockstar's, Grand Theft Auto.
No.
They just really it sucks you in, and that's the difference. And I think that's one of the things like CEOs and investors were getting concerned with, studios spending all this money on this, but then they would see a return in the game sales. You know, now that they've all kind of said, okay, we're not going to spend this much money on developing a game and developing a good game. We've gone to the app thought process.
Because there's an app for that. No,
yeah,
I don't have that one on.
Yeah, right.
You got my iPhone YouTube video.
You can YouTube me later.
Yeah, there you go. iPhone YouTube.
But, you know, by not investing in that technology or in that quality,
right?
By going that app thought process, down dirty, $5 app, get it out, get it, you know, do multiple versions,
right?
You know, they're not seeing as much of a good return. You know, granted, they're seeing more profit margin, but they're not getting the billions of. Did I say billions? The millions. The millions of game sales on one title.
Right.
They're only seeing maybe half that or a quarter of that. Granted, you know, the profit margin's better, but they're not selling enough volume to make it totally worthwhile. So
maybe the PC, iPad, laptop is coming around to be more the thing to have than a desktop, or
I don't think so.
You never know. Or a gaming device.
I think it'll. I really honestly think, because the way they think and the way they're doing it right now, it will never replace the power of a full desktop, because they're not willing to take it there. It's just look at what they do.
Eventually. I bet you they do. Eventually.
No, you can go buy a full-fledged tablet that has an i5 processor in it. It'll do everything a PC will do. These tablets, the iPads, the Androids, no, I don't ever see. They're toys. That's exactly what they are. They are toys. And
iToys.
And most people, and you know the sad part is, most people could probably live with just having an iPad and doing just whatever the iPad does and getting just the apps the iPad gives you. Mm-hmm. Okay? You start talking about businesses. You start talking about, like, the studio. I can't do 3/4 of what we do here on an iPad. You know?
Eventually, I bet you see it.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I just don't see it.
You heard it here live on Tech Talk.
Right.
From JJ.
Yeah. It's a $500 bet. I can see it now.
If you want to comment on what we're talking about, give us a call, 315-220-0692.
Or give us an email at techtalkliveny@gmail.com, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
What we got coming up? We get coming up after our break, or are we going to...
I'm gonna let you do this.
Oh, already?
Oh, okay, fine.
That's okay. Yeah, no, go. Keep going.
Let it go?
Yeah.
Now it's time for JJ's free app of the week. Yeah!
Yeah. Anyway, live from the Apple Store, the free app of the week is Angry Birds Space HD. A favorite classic of a lot of people out there.
Oh, very good classic. I like it.
Yes, actually number 1 in 116 countries. Anyway, brief description. It's an all-new Angry Birds game from their makers. It's the number 1 mobile game app of all that blasts off into space.
Ravio to space!
Yes. After a giant claw kidnaps their eggs, the Angry Birds chase it into a wormhole and find themselves floating in a strange new galaxy surrounded by space pigs.
Space pigs!
Luckily, the Angry Birds have superpowers of their own. Angry Birds Space features over 116 interstellar levels of planets and zero gravity, resulting in spectacular gameplay ranging from slow-motion puzzles to light-speed destruction. With their regular free updates, new app purchases, brand new birds, brand new superpowers, the whole galaxy to explore, the sky is no longer the limit.
Nope. It is definitely, and it's a great physics game because they totally took the physics of, like, you know, a 2D world and flipped it on its head. It's great.
Gotta love it.
Go get it. It's free this week
on the App Store.
Huh. Right. There you go.
Very good. And we'll get that up on our Facebook page and go out there and download it.
There you go.
Free. It's normally
That's
like
great.
99-cent app. Free this week.
Gotta love games. I don't care what kind of games they are. I do like the mobile app games. I definitely play some of them. I think probably my bigger thing is I do still like, I still see the distinction between mobile app games and full-fledged games, because, you know, the full-fledged games will give you 60 hours worth of a storyline. Okay, and they're amazing. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I know what I feel like. I love a game that just gets you totally immersed and you don't know what you're doing. You're in that world. You're not you anymore. You're the character. I mean, when it sucks you in like that, and it gives you a nice distraction from reality for, say, a couple hours.
And then you're there for like 3 or 4 hours, actually. Not a couple, 3 or 4.
Right.
You're like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I could be up at 7 for work. Oh my God.
Well, then that's when you say,
Right?
forget it. Just go get some breakfast and
Oh my
keep
God.
playing.
Can you imagine?
Well, I agree. It's
Been there,
definitely-
done that when I was younger, maybe,
yeah, but the whole thing is that everything in moderation,
Right.
But I think the big thing is that one of the things that I love about full-fledged games is it does have a story. Like, Ravio does an excellent job with the short-term attention span that we have now in society. Okay, so
Ravio's the maker of Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, right? So if you go look at the story for Angry Birds, or you go look at the story for Angry Birds Star Wars, or even just the straight Angry Birds, they always gave you just enough story to keep you interested in the physics game, but at the same time, the physics game itself was fun by itself. You know?
Exactly.
Well, let's see. How can I make this one bird more destructive by putting him here or there and shooting him? Okay, there you go. Boom. Okay, great.
Trajectory and
Yep.
right.
It's a fun game. It does, no doubt. But to sit there and play that for 4 hours straight, you're never going to do it. You're going to do it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, waiting in the doctor's office.
An hour, maybe.
Yeah, whatever.
At the most.
Right. You go play Borderlands. Borderlands 2, which is out. You're going to go play StarCraft.
Right. Call of Duty or
maybe not even Call of Duty. Call of Duty is really an hour game too, really, if you think about it.
Right.
Maybe 2 hours if you go play the story mode, but or if you go play multiplayer. That's the other thing that the mobile apps seem to are missing out on right now is the mobile multiplayer, because you don't have.
There are a few out there though.
There are, but it's just that the bandwidth isn't there. The wireless bandwidth and the wireless, and it's not good bandwidth. That's the sad part. You can't get a fast enough packet to go from point A to point B to back to point A. You can't play like Angry Birds against each other. You can't play like probably euchre would be fine, but you'd be waiting for the other person. And then that multiplayer thought process, that MMO thought process, just isn't there. Now you do that on the PlayStation, you do that on the PC, you do that on whatever, you get some of that great collaboration feeling to it. And I think, like I said, I think everybody's kind of flopped to their camps, who I really like this and that's all there is to it, and I really like that and that's all there is to it. Then you got a few people like me, I could care less what side of the fence you're on. I just want to go play, but there's still
he
definitely
rides the fence.
Well,
Straight down the middle.
No, wait a minute. I'm good at that. I've always been good at that. I can see both sides. Now the question comes down to, where do I flop? I probably flop more in the regular game world. I grew up there. I'm now seeing people that never played video games or never really wanted to play video games or thought they were stupid, or oh, you're stupid, you're a gamer,
right?
And all of a sudden now I'm finding them in the middle of work, at the day job.
Whoops.
Sitting there playing Angry Birds or some other game. Well,
under the desk.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, yeah, no, I'm not playing Angry Birds on my cell phone. No, not at all.
Yeah, who am I again? I'm stupid? Yeah, okay.
That doesn't happen at work. Come on.
No, not at all.
No.
I was watching a girl at Walmart the other day, who I know their policy says that you can't have your cell phone on you. Okay? Sitting there in the middle of the aisle, working on putting up clothes and then doing something on her phone, whether she was texting or playing a game, but she was...
Whoops.
Right? I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird thought process. One thing that I did see in the news this last week really sparked interest with me is the whole idea of quantum computing really took off here, and I'm trying to find the name of the Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin has now produced a system called D-Wave system, which they're fairly confident enough that the technology is truly quantum calculations.
Lockheed Martin does a lot of military work, so this is probably some of their technology that they can partially break off, probably. But the whole idea behind quantum calculations is that instead of just being ones and zeros on and off logic gates, right?
A one can be a one. It could be a zero at the same time as being a one, but it also can be anything in between a zero and a one. Go figure, right?
Right.
It kind of blows your mind thinking that way, right? But anyway, they feel that they have broken through the physics barrier and gotten into quantum calculations. And what this will do for processors and the next technological revolution is going to be that processing power is going to be 4 to 100 times fold, depending on how they design it and how they move forward. So they're supposed to be releasing more specs on it. They're going to do some things. They're going to build one for just cancer research to basically genome, literally map out the DNA structure of all different types of cancer.
And then they could 3D print it.
Maybe. I don't know why they would 3D print it, but
see where the flaws are. Oh, there's a flaw in there. Okay.
Right.
Maybe if we replace that part that's in there, that looks bad. Maybe we're being invaded. No, just kidding.
Are we? That must be a plane, I'm assuming.
They sounds like a lawnmower, actually.
Oh, maybe a lawnmower, yeah.
Nice.
It is Saturday morning.
It is.
But anyway, yes, they have, and there's a huge article on it, 3-4 pages long, on the New York Times. Go check it out. It's by Quentin Hardy, and it's really, it's really fascinating to read this article. And if really, truly, this is the breakthrough that everybody's been waiting for to get into quantum calculations, things that were taking everybody years of calculation power and, like the mapping of particle distribution during a explosion, massive explosion, was taking years and years and years, even by Big Blue. The whole point behind this is that they'd be able to map that whole process in a quarter of the time that it's taking Big Blue.
Things are going to get a lot faster.
A lot faster in the sense of calculations. We'll be able to come up with answers faster. Businesses will be able to calculate their big data a lot faster with this type of processor. And it's very possible if they really did break that quantum barrier and it's truly quantum calculations. I'd be very impressed to see what we're going to see in the next 5 years.
Can't wait.
That'd be interesting.
Oh my God, video games.
Well, I don't think we'll see that for another 10 because you got to figure quantum processors probably are going to be more business orientated and government.
Yeah, for sure, it's going to be the big.
And then eventually they'll sell off one of the designs to like Intel, or Intel come up with their own design.
Yeah, oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine going from 3 gig multi-core processors that we got now to
done.
Yeah, right.
Wow, that was awesome.
In one cycle, be able to calculate the entire quadratic equation for finding the area under a curve and everything else. I mean, just boom, it's done, instant. Can't even imagine.
I love it.
So, anyhow, I got one more article, and then I got Around the Tech. What else you got? Anything?
Around the Tech in 20 seconds. Actually, we had talked.
I can't do it in 20.
Why not? Come on. I was reading an article earlier, and I should have brought it up with our last conversation. It was Yahoo was bidding on purchasing Hulu. So, Google's got YouTube. Mm-hmm. So why not jump into the game things?
I still think, I don't know if I really want Yahoo to have Hulu. I really would hope Hulu would stay separate. Mostly because, I mean, look at all the security things that have gone wrong with Yahoo. They do not, for whatever reason, support a good security standard. I don't know how many times my account has been compromised, and by no fault of my own. Just all of a sudden, boom, I'm sending out junk that I shouldn't be sending out. I've never had that problem with Google. I haven't had that problem with several services that I use. Yahoo seems to be the only one that I'm having this much problems with. Yahoo and Facebook.
So, anyway, see what happens. I think they they were going for Tumblr at one time. That fell through, didn't it?
I think that fell through.
That was like a $1.1 billion offer for Tumblr. I'm not sure what happened there. That didn't be good money.
Well, I think
anyway.
Well, again, I think it's these bigger companies that started the .comers. The big .comers that not only .commed and got big, but also stayed big, are now doing the Microsoft syndrome, which is buy up what we want and then see if we like to keep it. that whole Borg thought process of, resistance is futile. We will assimilate you. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's really horrible that nobody really can survive as their own entity anymore. And that's why I like Pinterest CEO, the way he thinks, that just, run your own race, have fun with it.
I think Yahoo's got about $4 billion cash to spend, so they're out there looking to buy stuff.
Well, spend it back with their investors. Spend it back with their company, their employees. Give them a little bonus.
Give them a little bonus. Upgrade the technology a little bit.
Right. I mean, if they got a good business model that's surviving very well, that's what I never understood about. I mean, I know that we still have to do our R&D and. Pardon me.
I know their stocks are outrageous.
Yeah, but I mean R&D, I understand that's part of it, and staying on top and so on and so forth. But I mean, if you got a good business model and it's staying good, why not put it back into the people that are going to spend the money the most, which is your employees. You give a $50,000 employee a $10,000 bonus, they're going to go out and buy a car.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it could be easily a great way to shift funds around and definitely spike some economic growth in other sectors.
Employee morale,
especially when you have a company that is not supporting employee morale.
Right. There's quite a few of them out there.
Yep. Sadly, in all different sectors.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody believes in the happy employee will be a good employee. It's the same problem that we have with anything. We're all looking so much to the negative. We're always looking for those employees that are the bad employees with the cell phones out doing that. And then we see one of them and then we think everybody's that way.
Right.
And really we're delusional. I mean, I don't care who you are. We are delusional. We purposely look for the bad. Then when we see a minor infraction that nobody would ever care about, like maybe they use their personal email at work, which is a real big topic that's been coming up in so many different sectors about personal email, bring your own device, what's the policies, what's the procedures. Okay, if you're going to tell somebody that they have to bring their own device, you got to bring your own iPad to work in order to work for me.
Right.
Okay.
Compensate me for it.
Right. Well, there's the problem. And people aren't being compensated for it. And then when they do something personal on it, they want to know what that personal thing is. I think companies are getting really in a bad position.
Yep.
Organizations, companies, government facilities, I don't care what it is, are getting in a really bad position with BYOD because it could open the doors for a lot of lawsuits and a lot of privacy issues, and people just don't realize
it. Was a D on the end, not a B, just to let you know.
BYOD, yes. Bring your own device.
Correct. Not bring your own beer.
Oh, right. I'm good with BYOB, what the heck, Kegger at Flipper's house. But anyway, I really think that people are going to, I mean, here's where the problem comes. The technology is there to do anything. You could do just about anything connectivity wise. You could put anything anywhere, I mean, run some fiber from here to there, wirelessly connect it, whatever.
I like this thing. I read an article online that they're bringing the technology to the iPad for the job that I do.
Really?
I'm like, I can't wait to see what that's going to bring.
That'll be interesting.
But bring your own device. I could just bring my iPad and
hook up and go.
Right. Exactly.
Heck, you could be at home.
Well, that's next generation. That's the whole idea with next generation 911 coming up.
What? You be at home and still be dispatching?
You could. Good.
I don't know. We were talking about doing things at home, the other day with
not that you're going to be there for your primary 8 hours, but if you needed somebody to
cover,
you got busy and need somebody to
just pop on and cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, here, cover for 2-3 hours. That might work.
Here's a laptop, and
well, we got talking with a couple different businesses the other day because a couple of things that was very predominant with this whole work from home thought process.
Right.
There was a couple of local businesses that were talking about, well, instead of having a bigger place to house everybody, I'll just keep my offices small where we meet, and then I'll just make everybody work from their home. Well, yeah, but you're making them work from their home for $30,000 a year, which, okay, that's nice and all, but you're still requesting that they work the full 8 hours with no other distractions.
Right.
How are you going to monitor that? How are you going to tell when they're at the computer and doing that, and they're available by phone? That's really where it comes. And then the other thing is why aren't you compensating them X amount of dollars a year, $5,000 a year for a home office? I mean, that's how weird this got. This whole conversation got. Well, I can save this much over here, and I'm still not going to pay my employees any extra for doing it on their own time and their own stuff. And it's like,
right, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make much sense.
No, there's got to be some type of incentive.
Right, but again, they're
just going to say being home is an incentive.
Right. Well, I suppose it is, but
you work with your pajamas on.
Well, how would you be able to do that? What if you have a job that requires you to go meet sales?
What if it
video phone?
Yeah, put a nice shirt on, tie, and wear pajamas underneath.
There you go. Right.
With my slippers on.
That's what a lot of people have is that grandiose holy grail thought process,
right,
of work at home. I just don't think it exists the way that you're imagining it. I think work at home can be very beneficial for regional people, like sales. Sales has been doing work at home a long time.
Yeah,
you work at home on the road, and that's where BYOD really comes into play, is when those people are totally on the road and they're never back at the main office. People like you and me, or even other people, you report to a manufacturing job. There's no way that you're going to BYOD that.
No,
I mean, you're there to be a robot, literally.
Not unless you're in upper echelon.
Even then, it probably wouldn't even work that well. Hey.
Oh, need some more.
Okay.
Oscar says
what? Get up here.
Oscar said it's time for the.
Okay.
Hey.
He just stepped on the keyboard. That's funny. Poor Oscar. He's moody today.
He is. I think Oscar's trying to get you to go do the Around the Tech in 60 seconds, I think.
Think so?
That's what the hint was.
All right. Well, let's go do it up. Let's go do it up, Oscar. Around the Tech in 60 seconds.
Time
Ready?
for Around the Tech in 60 seconds.
Anyway. Whoops. Get ready to go, right?
Here we go.
I love this. This is great.
We're off.
Report. Google Eyes Maps maker Waze. We were just talking about that.
We were.
Google is in talks to acquire Israel mapping startup Waze to prevent the company from falling into the hands of rival Facebook. YouTube Comedy Week fixing global sadness.
Aww.
As the first week of comedy draws to a close, YouTube leaves us with some of the best shorts yet. Eat your shorts.
Yeah, right.
Report Apple prepping low-cost iPhones in the iPhone S. The Japanese news site, whatever, released details of rumored iPhones, cheap iPhones, Xbox One, PS4, Wii U. Why are we in this WAFT generation?
Waft.
Who asked for this? New game consoles.
Nice.
Enormous. 5 million piece Lego X-Wing lands in Times Squares. 5 million piece X-Wing fighter currently sitting in New York Times Square. That's amazing. Malware explosion 2013. Worst year yet for malware. And Google acquires wind power firm McCanny Power. After previously investing in the company, Google has agreed to acquire the green energy startup. That was the article I was looking for.
Whew. And that was
Around the Tech
in 60 seconds. Very good.
I'm getting better at it. I still stumble. I gotta rewrite the headlines so that they're easier to read, I think.
Nice. Do you hear what else is hot?
What's hot? You hot? I'm hot.
You hot. You hot. Password Protection Act bars employers from demanding login information.
Say that again?
Password Protection Act bars employers from demanding login information.
That's almost a good idea.
Yeah, what kind of experience? Let's see here. Let me read part of the article out of from Mashable. What kind of experience do you have in the field? Who are your references? What's your Facebook password? Mm-hmm. If the Password Protection Act becomes law, it would make it a crime for employers to ask the third question.
It should be.
So,
personally speaking, it should be. I don't care whether you're law enforcement or not or whatever. I don't care what industry you're in, tech industry or Walmart. It does not matter. When it comes down to your job application, you go put your job application in and Merry Christmas, and here you go. And now you base it on your experience here.
It was a bill that was introduced in the House of Representatives this past Wednesday by a representative from Colorado and Vermont.
Republican, Democrat.
Both Democrats, actually.
I kind of figured.
It would make it illegal for employers to demand current or prospective employees, to hand over access to their social media accounts.
It should be. I actually agree wholeheartedly with this type of law. I do not agree that you should ever. I
saw it coming with local states, but now the federal government's getting involved. And
they should, and they really should not make it ever. It should never be okay for someone else, whether it's a company or whatever, an employer of any sort, or doesn't matter what it is. Okay, ever ask for your login information. Okay, there are mechanisms for them to go out and get information about you off of Facebook and stuff. They have those mechanisms. Right. Use them. No more of this garbage of, well, here's my username and password. Now you can become me and do what you want, and you can ruin my reputation online. How do I know that you didn't just go do that?
I know a lot of people locally, other counties maybe in New York State are asking when they're doing background checks on future employees that they at least friend request the employee, and they have to accept it so they can look at their Facebook page.
I still don't think that's
the same thing. I would say, right?
Not exactly.
Pretty damn close, or pretty darn close.
Pretty damn close. I'm good with you saying damn. Personally speaking, I don't think it's the same, and I'll tell you why. Because they can't become you. They can't become Flipper or JJ.
Right.
Okay. Now, if I give you my username and password for Facebook, you can become me and then ruin my entire thing. Now, here's the other thing, which I think is so stupid, because we sit here and we argue about, well, I remember having this argument with a particular somebody at the day job. I find this very irritating that we will ask for username and password and violate any type of security protocol that anybody would ever, or even privacy settings. Okay.
Would you give them your email login information?
No, I would never give anybody my email login information.
That's a comment in here too, where they're asking for you. They're going to ask for email logins
asking
as well.
for you. They're asking to become you, and that is totally. That's just like handing the credit card to the criminal and saying, "Here, go ahead and be me."
Right. Exactly.
You know, I mean, come on. Now, as far as the friend request goes, I think that's optional. I really think businesses and employers really need to take a step back and go, really, is this worth it? Is this really worth it? I don't think so. But, of course, they're trying to make it easier for, the employer's trying to make it easier for them to monitor and make sure that they're not doing anything bad or stupid that they shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. People should have an expectation of privacy when using social media.
Yes.
Like Facebook and
if I turn my privacy on where only my friends can see stuff.
Right.
You don't have to worry. The employer doesn't have to worry about them going out publicly to the public and saying something.
Right.
But among their friend circle, it's the same concept of, I want to see your email. It is the same exact concept. Now, if I'm a public figure like I am, and I have my Facebook wide open, anybody can read my comments. Anybody can go look at Tech Talk. Anybody can post on my wall. And I can delete whatever anybody posts. But
exactly. One of the big things was, expectation of right to free speech and religion,
again,
all, respect respected to, when social media outlets are.
But that's one of the big problems that people don't get, that we are, by doing something like this, we are technically violating parts of our Constitution.
Correct.
Okay. And, whether you believe in it or not, that people have the right to freedom of religion. Freedom of choice of religion, okay? And that includes atheism. That includes having the non-belief of all that stuff. I mean, if you don't believe in that, then fine, okay? I guess you could go and commit this act.
Right.
Freedom of speech. I have every right to voice my opinion about any topic. Why do you think we have a show, right?
Exactly.
We are exercising our freedom of speech, talking about whatever we want to talk about on Tech Talk Live.
And we do a damn good job of it.
Now, do we curtail a little bit of it? Sure, because we want to be professional about it. Which is different than what you might see in some of these other shows that might happen. And I'm not talking like on Figure Likes One, but you see some of these commentary shows that just get downright nasty, and there's no way in heck that what they're saying is 100% the truth. And they stop being professional for sensationalism so that they're remarkable, so that they get more listeners. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I agree with you, actually.
So there you go. That was my take.
Very good.
And yes, it ticks me off every time I hear about that. Because it makes no
I'm glad
sense.
somebody's stepping up to the plate finally.
Well, finally, but it only took, 2 years? 2 years of this happening?
Probably longer than that.
Who was it? Who was it in... it was one of the counties in New York State. It was a big to-do, too. And it was... even the New York Times published it.
Right.
And it was... I believe it was either the sheriff's department or a local police department requiring that you gave them your username password for Facebook. Now, why are we only worried about Facebook? What about Pinterest? What about
Twitter?
Tumblr? Twitter? Anything else? No, we don't care about that. What do you think they're going to do? It's just like the drug deal thought process. Okay, Facebook's polluted. We don't want to be on there, right? We're going to go to Twitter. We'll sell our drugs,
Get an iDevice.
It makes no sense.
Get an iPhone device.
Yeah, with encryption, right?
With encryption.
That they don't help law enforcement.
Right, exactly.
Get out of here. But really, it's just that bad. It is just that bad thinking about it. Going, okay, fine. Then that police agency went out and somebody got a hold of it, didn't like the person.
Right.
So they were there for 6 months and then started posting as them all these nasty comments about their day job. And next thing you know, they were... Have a nice day. You're gone.
Yeah, one of the quotes here in the article is, without this protection, employers essentially can act as imposters, assume the identity of an employee, continually access, monitor, or even manipulate an employee's personal social activities and opinions. And there's a lot of...
You know what? You don't want an employee...
A lot of bad stuff out there.
Right. You're right. You don't want an employee, go fire him for reasons. Don't sit here and sucker them into giving their Facebook password or whatever, or social media password or email password, so that you can start ruining their lives.
Right.
It's too much of a vengeful situation.
You've got them blocked out at work anyway, so
well, that's the other thing. People, I don't understand why people aren't doing more of this. Why do you need Facebook at work? If you are there to work, why do you need Facebook?
I can see some agencies having Facebook.
Okay, read
social
only.
Media.
Read only.
Social media. Well, majority read only. Some with being able to do both.
Okay, so there would be that piece of it. Okay, but without having good,
like my professional career, that's an up and coming thing as part of next generation.
Yeah, it's possibly going to be a Facebook integration. But I bet you what they're going to do with that is prevent you from going to Facebook or anything like that, or trolling Facebook for problems. It's going to be that there's going to be a connector that is searching for that, and then it's just going to pop it up on your screen, and be
a
like,
lot of the people nowadays are having their specific agency having their own web page, and you post to that web page.
Right.
So now you're going to have somebody monitor.
Not really, because if it's posted to that page, you could just email it in as a text, and then it becomes a text message.
Okay, I'm lost.
You're lost. Okay, so like look at Facebook. You get
that's next generation. If you have an emergency, you can just text to 911 and you're
right. So
the
same thought process too would be like saying if you have an agency web page or if you have a Facebook page, you can set up Facebook to send these posts automatically to your text-based phone. If you're second generation texting on 911,
so somebody's going to put a comment or post
on a page, it'll automatically
ship it to my...
Without you ever being on Facebook.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
You're here.
What?
Ta-da pops up. Well, does it pop up as an email or does it pop up as a text message?
It could probably do both. I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same protocol. That's what I don't understand. Why, when we were talking about it before, you're like, "Oh, social media. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go." Well, now we're gonna have to go out and troll Facebook. No, you're not. Because how are you gonna ever? And that was always my thing. How would you ever monitor all that?
Set up the right requirements.
Right protocol, right requirements. Boom, ship it in. It might be an email address that ships it all into an email address that the 911 center then processes and sends it to all consoles. And then somebody picks it up. I mean,
there you go.
There's so many different ways to do it. This whole thought process of hyperconnectivity. Speaking of second generation and first generation 911, Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, this Friday reintroduced a legislation from, I think, a year ago. It's called the Mobile Device Theft Deterrent Act, which penalizes thieves and people from changing their IMEI number on smartphones and other devices, circumventing tracking or tracking of stolen objects, or possibly theft of other people's services.
Oh, that could be interesting.
It is very interesting, and it's finally, he just put it in. The Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Communications FCC has stated that some 40% of thefts in major U.S. cities involve cell phones. Think about the Boston bombing recently. If that guy didn't turn on a cell phone, throw it in the front seat, they wouldn't have been able to trace that van.
Right.
Now, just imagine if that person was smart enough to pick up that phone, change the IMEI number, they would never have been able to trace it. And then that person might have had cell phone access and internet access on somebody else's account. I mean, it would have then sucked those people in to a crime that they never even was part of. So it's identity theft for cell phones now.
Right. So now you're going to require these companies not to provide this equipment or technology in order to. I don't want to say
it's just a BIOS flash. You literally rewrite the BIOS, and it's quick. I watched somebody do it on YouTube the other day.
Huh.
It's literally, if you got the program in the USB port, it's literally boom, boom, done.
Wow.
And it's quick. It's not long at all. But
I would thought it would take much longer, but
no, we're talking. If you have it cracked, or if you know the phone that you're using and you've already cracked it once,
do they call it jailbreak in it? I guess.
Kind of same thought process, but it goes a little deeper. It's actually rewriting the flash. So, like the IMEI number thought process, if you've already broke a Verizon phone, you can break any Verizon phone that is that same model. So, a lot of people are offering hacker kits that have a bunch of phones that are already cracked.
Hacker kits for $9.99.
Or not even. It's free. You just go out and grab it. And then the little utility to bypass all that, and the utility will run, jailbreak the phone, then flash BIOS it, and change the IMEI number for you automatically to whatever you tell it.
Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day. So
nice.
now literally it's like you thieve a phone, you just get it back to your house, bink, done. They'd have to track it as soon as it was noticed missing. Because if it gets back to a place where they can change the IMEI number.
Yeah, somebody's hijacked a Apple truck full of iPhones.
There you go. Just sitting there.
So as they get home.
Yep. Well, those hijacking a truck of shut off Apple phones are unactivated. You ain't gonna find them.
Well, yeah.
They're not active.
You never know.
Right. I think that's one of the big things. I really think is and if you were talking to somebody, somebody would be like, this is bull. They're gonna make this a law and it's stupid. And these are laws that we're gonna need to have moving from this point forward.
Right.
And one of the things is that whether you love them or you hate them, okay, bringing this law up yet again, hopefully this time they vote on it and pass it, because they need to put something in that takes and starts recovering these phones,
right?
And making.
Why are we requiring new laws for laws we already have on the book?
I don't know.
Stick with the old laws.
Yeah, right?
And we'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Just enforce the old laws.
Well, it would be nice to enforce the old laws as well, but...
Sorry, I had to.
I know. But no, really, honestly...
Dear Lord, I apologize.
For all the starving pygmies in New Guinea. No, but really, honestly, I mean, I agree with the thought process that the laws that are on the book should be, definitely enforced.
Right.
Okay. But at the same time, with things moving as fast as they are technologically, we're going to have to start looking at these things. These things that seem so obscure to the normal user means everything if your phone's ever hacked, or stolen. Like your phone gets stolen. If this law is in place, not only is the person who stole the phone
in trouble,
but in trouble on multiple accounts, which might then make it less likely that other people would do that. I mean, you got to have something.
It's going to happen either way.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is. But do you stop and you say, don't put something in? I mean, it's almost as bad as the gun law thought process.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, fine. Don't have a law. Okay, fine. Now people go around and do it anyway. How are you going to be able to arrest them? Oh, they stole my phone? I didn't steal their phone. It was laying there.
Yep.
Well, that's technically a thief. No, it's not a thief. You lost
You could
it.
always be charged with possession of stolen property.
Well, that's true. You could.
There you go.
But how? What is that?
Can't,
what is
prove,
that
it, can't
really?
prove that you stole it, but you're in possession of it. So guess
Right.
what? Have a good day.
Yeah, but how bad of a penalty is that?
Same as stealing it.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was less.
No, they're both misdemeanors.
So it's just like a fence. Like if you act as a fence, you know, like somebody steals something, then brings it to you, you pay him like a
It's
dollar.
it's like a misdemeanor for stealing it, and it's a misdemeanor for possessing it. So.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think it'll fly as good as because and nobody will care. Nobody will know. Nobody will.
Old laws on the books. Enforce them.
Fine. I'll agree to it.
Anyway, you want to comment on what we're talking about? Leave us a message. About to wrap things up. 315-220-0692.
You've been watching Tech Talk Live. We're on every Saturday morning, 11 to 12 Eastern Time. I'm Flipper.
I'm JJ.
And we'll see you next week. We're out here.
Have a happy holiday.
See ya.
See ya.
You've been listening to your technology talk show. Tune in next time to Tech Talk Live.